It is absolute insanity that Rob Dillingham hasn't got more minutes this season for a Timberwolves team desperate for both a point guard and some offensive creativity. In fact, the only thing more insane is that he didn't get more minutes against the Grizzlies last night, while the Wolves once again watched their offense fade away and their lead along with it. Now, there shouldn't be a Timberwolves fan in the world who doesn't love Mike Conley, but the sun is setting on his career, and Dillingham is clearly a better fit for this roster right now and for the future, and no game exemplified that better than this one against the Memphis Grizzlies. Because what this team needs more than anything is someone who can put pressure on defenses. They need someone who can turn a pretty harmless screen at half court with this forming defensive shell behind it into a downhill burst through the defense for an easy look. That injection of pace into the offense is so crucial for this Minnesota team, and unfortunately Conley just doesn't have that in him anymore. When he gets that same super high ball screen, there's no urgency to use it to break the paint, and when he comes off another one, he can't attack downhill, shoot the pull-up three, or make a play for a teammate off the bounce. That's when you get these gummed up possessions late in games that end with bad spacing and a bad shot. With Dillingham, you get a player who wants to probe into the middle of the floor and try and make things happen, but you also have a kid who wants to be the focal point scorer, someone who can turn that withering possession into profit with his aggressiveness, and someone who loves walking into that same wing pull-up three when the defense is in drop coverage. It just feels imperative that this offense gets a punch of shooting and creation from their point guard, especially alongside Anthony Edwards, and with Donte DiVincenzo now out indefinitely, Dillingham seems to be the most obvious solution to play a lot of minutes there. Because I think Conley's lack of aggression as a scorer is kind of making life easier for every defense Minnesota face. His misfiring pull-up three is preventing him from shooting this shot, but he also can't blow by, shoot this floater, or get by the bid for a reverse layup, and that funnels the ball into the hands of bad shooters late in the shot clock, and it's another wasted possession there. Again, this team needs aggressive scorers alongside Anthony Edwards. When an off-ball set for Ant breaks down here and they flip it into these double ball screens, they need Ant's wingman to be able to attack this open space for a rim attempt or a drive and kick opportunity. Failing to take those advantages only makes Ant's shot diet even more difficult. Nobody is blaming Mike Conley's legs for not permitting that anymore. It's understandable at his age that he can't attack this switch and try to force one of these defenders into rotation, but it's alarming that the coaching staff don't recognize how much this hurts the team or how much harder it makes Ant's life late in games. It just makes sense to pair Edwards with an up-tempo guard like Dillingham, because when he gets those same double drag ball screens with Edwards involved, his speed forces confusion from these defenders involved, and his creative pass before the second screen gets Ant attacking a defense that is now shifting across, and that creates better spacing and better driving lanes, which Edwards and Minnesota desperately need on offense. Even if it's not directly involving Edwards, the ability to come off those two ball screens here again, use that downhill mentality to engage Gobert's defender, and then find the roller in the pocket is pretty much exactly what you want to see from a point guard on this roster. Again, how often do we see simple yet effective offense like this from Minnesota? Dillingham is already dusting his defender after he throws this elbow touch to Randall. Jaren Jackson Jr. is pressed up in defense, and it's an easy give and go rim dive. Dillingham's ability to puncture the point of attack defense with his handle and his shiftiness just creates so much offense for both himself as an aggressive scorer and for his teammates in drive and kick situations. These looks aren't always going to end in mates or highlight real plays, but I think getting into the middle of the floor and creating offense is a massive flaw for this Wolves team, and one of the reasons they often look like they just don't have any juice offensively. Now, Dillingham is going to make rookie mistakes and he's not there yet defensively, but if he helps put a bandage on this leaking gash in Minnesota's roster construction, then he should be playing big minutes and playing the important minutes, those minutes that he didn't play in this Grizzlies loss that really could have changed the outcome of the game. For the Wolves, it's time to lean into the rookie, even if head coach Chris Finch doesn't want to. If there's one thing to come out of this lost season for Minnesota, Dillingham's development should be that one thing. Thanks again for watching Howls and Growls. Please subscribe for more.